I was walking home from church one evening after dusk. It was quiet except for the sound of mothers calling their kids in for supper. I was in my everyday clothes, rolled up denim coveralls with no shirt underneath and no shoes, strolling along in no hurry, pitching rocks and pulling leaves off bushes. Suddenly, I heard someone coming up on me from behind. Every so often, I turned around, but it was pitch black and there was nothing. Closer to the tracks in the old house, I stopped under a streetlight, and when I whipped around right along the outer bush of where the lamp cast its glow, there stood a tall, shadowy figure that looked exactly like a man but without a head. I got one quick, terrifying glimpse before the thing lit out across the tracks and toward the old house. I stood there paralyzed, watching it run until it disappeared by the house. So after, because he didn't seen a tree, he said it looks like a man with no head. That scared the fuck out of him. Otis said he ran home as fast as he could. He never ran that fast in his life. He banged on the door of his home, bang, 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 bang. And his grandma opened the door. Was like, "What the fuck? Why is you banging on the door so hard?" He told his grandma what happened. Now he said his grandma never said to him that it was impossible that he would see that because I mean I don't think he's lying. I've heard stories of people seeing things, and I've heard stories. Who was that? It was one of them. I forget, but somebody has said a sleep demon attacked them in their sleep. Yeah, stuff like that can happen. And I think when you talk about demonic things such as witchcraft and those things, it could come to life if you're not careful of the way you talk about. That's why I don't talk about fairies and goblins and dragons. Well, anyways, because I'm just going everywhere. No, he didn't say that he was bleeding, but he and his foot was cut, and I think his leg was cut, so they had to put him in a bath and soak him. But then again, I'm like, where the fuck is your shoes? But then again, like I said in the last part, that's what the people do in the South, especially when you live with grass and dirt, concrete. I don't know. If you happy and you know it, clap your hands. Why am I singing that song? Although most of my early memories are sweeter than that, Texas Arkansas was in the South, which meant there was racism. We lived in a segregated community and attended an all black school and an all black church. Though an only child, I had many cousins by marriage. Now, some of y'all gonna say, how was he the only child? His brother didn't come until after. Though an only child, I had many cousins by marriage, and one I liked to hang with was Calvin, who was a little bit older than me. I probably 10 or 11. So one day, him and his cousin Calvin decided to go over to the next town. He never said, but it was over the next town to go window shopping because they didn't really have money because they was kids. To this toy store. Now, as Otis said before, he ain't never wanted for nothing in life. I haven't either. But he always wanted these toys that they had at this store. And he would fantasize about having all this money so he can buy all the toys. Now, I'm not saying he's a big kid, a big grown kid. You know what I mean, as a child. So one day, him and his cousin Calvin walking, and these white boys started bothering them. Calvin and I was walking along when a couple of white boys started bothering us, calling us names and saying things like, "Come here. we'll jump on you. We'll kick y'all asses. Thinking about it now, I couldn't say for sure if they even knew what they were saying or why. Now, pause. That's just, I don't fault white people that was raised. Kids at that time because their parents taught them that. And what was that? That's some. And when I say that, I'm saying that carefully. I'm saying that when Otis says the kids didn't even know what they were saying, it's like I'm trying to connect it. Listen, Otis, if you're watching this, I understand what you're saying. He's saying it in a way as the kids don't know what they're saying for real. They're just saying, or they're just doing what they seen their parents do. I don't know. Because again, in that time, we talking about the 40s and the South, is racism. White stayed over here, the black stayed over here. Now everybody else, why you think Michael Jackson say? And you know, a lot of other races get upset. Anyways, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone because I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna just leave it alone. But Otis, I understand what you were saying. What you're saying, they was just little bigots made that way by their parents. That's what I'm saying. They were made that way. These kids, their parents taught them not to like black people. Now, some of the white kids, if you think about it, and I'm talking about the Little Rock Nine, the little nine kids that entered the white high school in 1957. I know I'm going to the left. I'll say that for later when we talk about, I'll say that for later. Calvin, who was quick tempered, got crazy. He happened to be holding a sharpened pencil. As he got madder, he tightened his grip and held the pencil the way you would a knife. Oh shit. He was getting ready to walk over to those boys when I grabbed his arm. No, Calvin, don't do it. I said, you might end up getting hurt or killed. Now, when I say that, and the reason I say that, it's the 1940s in Texas, in Arkansas. And y'all said it's Texas and Arkansas. I don't know. He would have got hung. If Otis didn't stop his cousin from stabbing, that little boy would have the same thing that, even though, and I'm not saying Emmett Till, that whole shit, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. That was disheartening that happened. We couldn't. We could either walk away. We could either walk away as if we didn't hear what they said and nothing would happen, or Calvin could have tried something and there would be trouble. Even at young kids, even young kids, they're wait what? Now this ain't me. Even young kids, they're new to weigh their options. Okay. So now we get to the part. No more the South. Oldest mama is like.